First, it is 9 o'clock, and we start with the Home and Garden Show, which is returning next Thursday to downtown Grand Rapids. Of course, you can see we have some lovely flower arrangements here in studio, and we actually have a flower expert in studio. That is Jay Schwanke here with us. He's been on PBS, you've been on all sorts of TV shows and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And you really are the true flower celebrity expert, right?
I am, and I started here.
Right here.
Right here
At
with
WZZM.
WZZM. So yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. So first, we'll get to the Home and Garden Show here in a little bit.
Sure.
But first, what do we have in front of us? What is this?
We have flower arrangements that were made by a couple people here.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Ooh, they're
I heard
beautiful.
Catherine Barrett made one of them. Riley Mack made one of them.
Exactly. So my question is, how do they make you feel?
Yeah. That is the question and the topic of today's discussion with these flowers with Jay. First, just give us a rundown. How do they make us feel?
Well, number one, I mean, I'm curious how they made you feel when you walked up to the table.
I feel great. The smell, it's very aromatic.
Right? Yes.
They look
Okay.
beautiful, of course,
It's
too.
wonderful.
Okay.
I mean, walking out in the hallway, you were staged right outside the studio.
Sure.
And walking out there, I mean, the smell just smacks you in the face when you walk out there.
Okay.
The
so,
gentlest smack.
Yeah,
you've
it's
ever heard,
it's not maybe like a like a light tap.
Well,
Something
I
like
always said when I would come in here to do live television with Catherine that people would say, I could smell that you were here. They would come wandering in from different parts of the building. And I love that. Okay, so when we talk about fragrance, fragrance has a huge memory jolt for us all. So that's gonna create something. Whether it's baked goods or flowers, it doesn't really, it's one of those things that it makes you, maybe it reminds you of your grandmother. That's the most popular
Well, this
thing
one
people say.
reminds me of just spring in general. You know, being outside in the garden,
greens.
things like that.
Okay, so we'll talk about the health and wellness benefits of flowers. There are a myriad of amazing studies that were done by Dr. Haviland Jones, Rutgers University, Boston University, all over the world that tell us that when we're in the presence of flowers, we feel more relaxed, we feel more calm, we have happier thoughts. People who are older, seniors who are around flowers, will enlarge their circles of friends. They'll be more apt to seek medical attention for something that ails them.
Oh.
They'll have...
Interesting.
I know, isn't that... Okay, if you are sick and in the hospital and you get flowers, you will get better faster. If you get yellow flowers, you'll get better even faster.
And this is
Ooh, I
all
like
backed
that
by
one.
science.
This is all backed by science. You can go to my website, ubloom.com. I've
Okay.
compiled them all there, but they're all the official reports. But you can go to ubloom.com/research, and you can read all about it. But I think it's interesting. When you have flowers in the workplace, you're more creative and you're more apt to find a solution
I'm
for
taking
problems.
this
I feel very
bouquet right to my
creative.
desk after this interview.
I'm telling you. So, okay, now here's the other thing. Homes that have flowers in them have less arguments.
Oh.
Really? What?
I know.
So can I ask you this question? What
Okay,
is,
sure.
What is the metric that they're basing this off of? Is it like a survey, or do they
These
like pull
were
these?
actual studies done by Dr. Haviland Jones. She's still alive. She's like 98 years old. When I was a little kid, she was her studies were being funded, and my dad got to meet her. My dad was the president of the Society of American Florists. It was a great thing. But she worked with people and said, okay, here's this person. How do you feel? And now we're going to put the flowers here. How does that make you feel? Then they also did scientific studies, and they found out that there was more dopamine, there was more endorphins that were released in their body when they came in. So all of that official information is on these research documents. And that's the thing is, these studies have been around for 20 years.
Wow.
And I think it's so interesting. With our TV show that's on PBS, Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom, we talk about the health and wellness benefits of flowers every week.
Wow.
And I just want people to know it's that little tiny thing. During the pandemic, what happened was people still were going to the grocery stores. They would pick up that bundle of flowers, they would bring it home, and suddenly those 20-year-old studies were being felt by people nationwide.
It's funny you say that because I do remember during the pandemic, all of a sudden I was into flowers, right? Because I was like, oh, that
There
looks
we
nice.
go.
This brings
Why'd
some
you
joy.
get out? Why'd you get out?
Right, well,
Get back in.
No, I'm in.
Okay,
I'm
good.
all in. I've got plants and flowers all over my apartment.
Oh, I
So,
love that.
Yes,
I love that.
It's great.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So what was the basis of that study? So what was the question originally that they were trying to answer there when they started to do
question,
this?
So the question was, why do flowers affect people so much? Why do people when you walk into a building come in and say, hey, I could smell flowers in here, where are the flowers? Why is it the first thing that you see when you go into a grocery store? Why is it that people pick them up and immediately, and why do people Smell them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why do they do that?
Yeah.
And so it was like, we realize that they're causing a reaction, so we need to do the research to find out why.
Very interesting. And so any particular benefit from any of the flowers that we have here in front of us? Because you were mentioning yellow flowers for some things,
all right.
or, you know.
So there's just some other aesthetic things about them. Carnations are one of my favorites because they're
Okay.
super long lasting.
Sure.
Okay, you can have carnations. When you use this little packet of flower food, there's a little packet of flower food that always comes with flowers.
I never know what to
Okay?
do with it.
Pour it into the water.
Pour it into the water.
Okay.
There you go.
And ask for another one when you're there. So you
Okay.
have two, because then you can pour this into some more water and keep that chilled water in your refrigerator.
Oh.
Okay. So
Good
as
tips.
as your water gradually comes down, you just top off with more. You don't have to take them out and recut them. That's an old wives' tale.
Okay.
You don't need to drop a penny in there. You don't need to put an aspirin in there. You don't need to put vodka in there.
You need to tell my mom she doesn't have to drop a penny in there.
I
right?
know,
You
right? Pennies used to be made out of copper, and they would adjust the pH. But this is a scientifically proven product
Okay.
that does that for you. So
Okay.
there's a pH controller inside here. There's sugars inside here that feed the flowers. There's an antibacteria agent. That's why people would tell you to add 7-Up, is because there's an antibacteria agent
I've heard
in
that
7-Up.
before.
7-Up.
Right,
Yeah.
and so because
Well,
it won't
plants
rot in the
like
can.
soda.
Right.
There you go.
But
Okay.
this is better. This is better because
Okay.
this is made for
Sure.
the plants. And people who say vodka will kill. Don't waste the vodka.
Or the
we
tequila.
have something else we can do with the vodka or the tequila, right?
Right.
Okay, but yeah, there's no point in putting it in there. And you
Okay.
want to have no leaves below your water line, so that's important as well. So, and again, every flower has a meaning. So, and like this is known as the Lisianthus, the
Okay.
poor man's rose.
Love it.
Okay.
It smells good, though.
Gerber daisy is one of the favorites. It's just a happy flower.
Oh, look at that.
If we have chartreuse green flowers, those colors
We were talking about
added-
chartreuse the other day.
We were
the
talking
color
about
chartreuse.
acid green, right?
Yeah.
So any color you pair with it, it makes it bubble up.
Oh,
So the
interesting.
pinks
I
and
see it
lavenders
too.
look more vibrant because we added that
Makes it
acid
pop a little bit,
green.
and it's got
Yeah.
like a little contrast in there to kind of make everything pop
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, this one has that
Absolutely.
spring feel almost, I feel like, and a lot of that looks like it has the green to kind of bring it out and
Sure,
to make
sure.
it pop too.
Yeah.
And the color of your flowers or the colors that you prefer, there's also horoscopes that go along with it. What's your favorite color?
Interesting.
Oh, I like yellow.
Yellow. Oh, perfectionist, number one. Usually, people who like yellow.
Which,
Perfectionist.
hold on.
I just got
I will say
called
her
out.
forecasts are always like on point, and also she spends a tedious amount of time on
I
it.
do.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so they're the sunshine in our lives. You know, all the rest of us wake up. You wake up and say, "Good morning, Lord." The rest of us wake up and say, "Good Lord, morning." All right, because you're a yellow person. You're the sunshine in our lives. What about you? What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Oh, blue. Oh, traditional.
Yeah. Well, calming.
And dependable.
Oh, there we go.
Most
That
popular
makes sense,
color
yeah.
in the color spectrum. That's
See?
why we have blue jeans. Is because everybody wears blue jeans. People who love blue typically have blue in their home as well. Do you have a blue couch, blue sofa, blue paint?
Well, I have an offshoot of that. I have like a dark green mixed with blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so-
Like
Like
aqua
a
color.
turquoise.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, an aqua
Yeah.
color. That's awesome.
There you
Okay,
go.
yeah. But so yeah, very, very dependable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we like it. So if I'm creating an arrangement for spring, moving on from the wellness benefits,
Okay.
if I'm creating an arrangement for spring, what should I be looking for? What would be like the quintessential spring arrangement?
Well, of course, we're going to come up on daffodil season. Daffodil season is short,
Okay.
but daffodils are available. And now the thing about daffodils, they don't like other flowers. So if you're going to put daffodils, don't put them in with these flowers because the sap that comes out the bottom of daffodils will make the other flowers die.
Oh,
so
they
put them
don't
in a
play
vase by
nice.
themselves.
Okay.
Okay. Tulips are coming up, so tulip time
Tulip
is going to
time,
be
holla.
all that
Yep.
stuff. So those again are going to be, and tulips, don't take a long time arranging them. Just cut them off, drop them in a vase because they're phototropic and they arrange themselves towards the light. So the next day you'll be like, look at how great I made this arrangement. And if you try and mess with it too much, it's just going to frustrate you.
Okay. Let's talk about your show. I'm sure that
Okay,
you
yes.
probably get people that ask you questions all the time.
We do.
What's like the number one question people want to know about flowers when they see your show?
It's interesting. We get about 600 pieces of mail every week.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and
Wow.
so it's a nationwide show. It's on 155 million homes every week. We're on 415 stations in 175 markets. We're in every state in the union.
Wow.
And it's an extremely popular show. The thing that people want to do the most is tell us how the flowers affected them. And we have very touching stories from people who had substance abuse, who couldn't beat it, who started arranging flowers, and that helped them get through their addiction. We've had
Wow.
people who were caring for loved ones who were dying, and they watched our television show and it brought them joy and happiness. And that's really my whole functionality with the show, is just to bring love and happiness and kindness. Flowers are a great way to provide that to people, and people just love looking at the flowers.
Yeah.
You know?
The energy that you bring to it as
Yeah.
well,
Oh, well,
is
I mean,
such.
and
It's like you've lit up our entire 9 a.m. show. We
Absolutely,
love talking to you.
anytime you want, I'm always up for the opportunity. But I do love that, and that it really is wonderful that everybody says, what do you do for a living? My living is arranging flowers, and because I love it and I'm passionate about it, I haven't worked a day in my life.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably
Yeah.
feel like this isn't work for you.
This
Yeah.
is not work.
Kind
No,
of
this
the
is great.
therapeutic benefits to it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Home and Garden Show.
Okay,
So
yes.
you're there Thursday, Friday?
No,
What days are you there?
I am there Friday night with the Flower Power Challenge, which I'm
Okay.
hosting with Catherine Barron.
Amazing.
Our
Right
guest
over here,
judge,
she's off camera,
yes,
watching.
our guest judge is Alana Shamelli from Martha's Vineyard. She won last year.
Okay.
We have 5 people who are participating. Riley Mack is participating. She
Riley!
is playing for the YWCA West Central Michigan. Shelley Irwin from the Shelley Irwin Show, playing for Kent County Parks Foundation. Steve Luere from Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park is playing for the Accessibility Fund at Meyer Gardens.
Okay.
Jim Rademacher from WGVU Public Television is playing for the WGVU Education Community Impact Effort. And Wimmy the Robot
Oh.
Wimmy
is
the
Wimmy
Robot.
the Robot.
So what
who
is that?
Wimmy, from Wimmy's Words.
Oh, not
it's-
familiar.
It's a kids program on PBS.
Okay.
And Wimmy, well, they tell me Wimmy's a puppet. I don't know how that all works, but I just am in love with Wimmy.
just a robot.
But Wimmy's a robot,
Yeah.
and Wimmy's going to arrange flowers, and he's playing for Has Heart, which is the foundation that's where he started with Wimmage, with veterans and artists
Okay.
together. So Wimmy's going to be playing for them. And so what happens is they make an arrangement in 5 minutes, like these arrangements you see here, and then the audience cheers for the best one.
Kind of like one of the overhand. Yep.
And really,
we'll see.
really,
Yep.
the way to win is to have the loudest people there.
We'll see.
Okay, I'm
well,
just
that means
gonna
we're gonna
tell
have
you,
to show up and
you're gonna
cheer for
have
Riley.
to
They
show
know
up for
bias.
Riley.
Yeah.
And so Riley made this arrangement this morning.
Looks
so she's
wonderful.
Beautiful.
killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
She got a
gonna
little
do
practice
great.
on.
I know. So it was awesome. But yeah, and then so Saturday I will be there with my Fun with Flowers programs, noon and 3 o'clock on the home stage. The Flower Power Challenge is on at 6 o'clock on Friday night. The other two, noon and 3 on Saturday. I make arrangements, I tell stories, the same type of thing that we did here, and I give those flower arrangements out to the audience.
That's pretty
Go
cool.
home.
Are you typically at the Home and Garden Show every year, like year after year?
I am. I
Yeah.
have been there for a long time. I don't even know how long. And it's usually my birthday weekend. It's
Oh,
not.
okay.
It's early this week, but it's usually my birthday weekend.
So
But,
what
yeah.
would be your favorite thing that you get to do while you're there?
Oh, I love the Fun with Flowers presentations
Yeah.
and giving flower arrangements to the audience, because
Yeah.
I will tell you, it's a very interesting thing. When I pick up this flower arrangement and I'm going to give it to somebody, the flowers will tell me who to give it to.
Just based
And-
off of how like they react, or
Exactly. I mean, it's just like this one goes to this person, and people come up afterwards and say amazing things. One lady came up one year and she said, "My daughter's favorite color is pink, and you gave me this pink bouquet." And I said, "Oh, I'm so happy." And she said, "This is the anniversary that she died 7 years ago."
oh my gosh.
And I was just like, "This is your bouquet. This is the one that's supposed
was
to
meant
go
to be
home with
here."
you."
Wow.
And the flowers know how to do that, and I simply am a catalyst for that. And that's my favorite part, is the people, and the people who come up and talk to me about the show. I am not that celebrity on television that you can't come talk to. I just always want to
Like,
put that out
please
there.
come up and say
Please come
that.
up and say hello to me. Please come up and tell me that you watch. Please come up and tell me your story about flowers. Tell me what you made this week. I want to know.
Yeah. How many of those stories do you have, like encounters with other folks that you maybe have arranged something for them, given them an arrangement, and then they come back up?
Hundreds.
Really?
Hundreds.
That's really beautiful. And for you to be in that position, I mean, that's got
Yeah,
to be really special for you.
That's the best part of what I do.
Yeah.
That's the best part of what I do. And the show even makes it even more important, because people are sending in. I grew up with Fred Rogers, so with Mr. Rogers
Sure,
on television.
yep.
He wrote back to everyone who writes in, and I write back too.
I was going to say, do you
And
have carpal
everybody's
tunnel?
like, no, I'm a good typer.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
really
good type. I was
good.
like,
type.
maybe
I would
like
type.
we're
I type.
penning
I
these,
type.
letters.
So, but it's just really nice to be able to, and people say, I didn't expect you to write back to me. but that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that important for me.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be there if they weren't watching.
Well, we appreciate your time this morning.
Hey,
and
thank
and
you.
I
Thank you
apologize.
so
At the
much.
beginning of this, I said Jay Schwanke. It's Jay Schwanke. First of all, we got to get it right.
Oh, it rhymes with donkey.
Yeah, well, so as soon as I said it, my executive producer Maddie was like, "It's Schwanke like donkey." So
Exactly.
there we go. We got it right.
So yeah,
Sorry
it's all
about
good.
that.
To
Hey,
remember.
Tanner, first time. First time.
There you go, first time.
I love that you love flowers. It's all
No,
good.
it's great, and
This is
I
beautiful,
want
yeah.
to create something like this in my home. I need to get as creative and in
Send
your
me
mind.
a picture.
I will. Absolutely.
I want to
Yes.
see.
All right, it is coming up on 9:16. Amber, we got to talk about the cold weather today, but also not only that, a little bit of a warm up that we're hoping that will keep going warmer, but it's not going to.
Yeah, the
unfortunately.
flowers are definitely getting us in kind of the spring
We're
mood.
manifesting the spring mood
Exactly.
right now.
Absolutely.
Spring-like weather is also kind of on its way. Next week, we're going to be able to see some 40s, which I
Okay.
mean, hey, that's definitely welcome, especially after we've had such cold temperatures recently.